Hello everyone, my name is the Luna One, and I've had this idea for a video kicking around in my head for a little while, and then yesterday a couple people in the comments of one of my edits said that they wanted to hear my thoughts on this, and so because I already sort of had the idea to film this, I decided that I should go ahead and do it. So if you don't want this, blame them, I guess. But I'm going to be talking about the bench scene. We have literally, without exaggeration, 1 second of this thing, and the entire friendom has exploded on itself. Because, oh my gosh, for those of you who don't know, Josh has been hyping up the bench scene for months now. He originally leaked, didn't leak, you know what I mean. He originally said something about the Be Redacted H scene in the finale and how it was his favorite scene to shoot or whatever. And then we all started freaking out. We're like, oh my gosh, what is this bench scene? And I think we all assumed it was going to be the bench at the park, and just like none of us had any clue what was going on. Fanfictions were going like crazy about this bench scene, and then in one of the latest promos you see a second of the bench scene. If you haven't seen it, I'll link a promo down. Gosh, it is so much, and it's only a second. So I'm going to be talking about, my theories about how this scene will go, but also not just this scene, but sort of the build up to it, because I have some theories about that. So I'm actually splitting this video up into 3 parts: theories and predictions, unlikely but possible scenarios, and complete and utter fantasies. So basically stuff that I think is going to happen or is somewhat likely to happen, even if I don't think it's necessarily going to. Unlikely but possible, so things that could happen. I'm not holding my breath, but I think that they might. And the complete utter fantasies and stuff I know is not going to happen, and I'm okay with that, even if I really deep down want it to happen. And then afterwards I'm going to talk about, what I think the is there anything you want to tell me line is in reference to and what that means. And then anything else that I feel like bringing up at the end of the video. So let's start with theories and predictions. So let's start with the safe bet. This is the scene where TJ and Cyrus get together. I can't see this going any other way. I just can't. Like, you have, they're under the cover of night, the fire pit is glowing, they're looking at each other with the most serious hard eyes I've ever seen in this freaking show, which is saying something because every other time they've ever looked at each other. You have TJ's hand, like, resting on the back of Cyrus's. You have the way Cyrus looks up. You just there's no way they can make this scene not romantic. We have 1 second of it, and it's already too romantic to be made platonic. So, this is gonna be the scene where they get together. There's just no way it's not. By the end of the scene, they will be together. I am 100% certain of that. Another thing that I think is a pretty safe bet is that this conversation is going to be preceded by a conversation with Cyrus and Buffy. I think the 2 of them will be discussing their relationship woes, as it says in the 320 episode description, and I think they'll start off talking about Marty and then move into talking about TJ, and then Buffy will get Cyrus to talk to TJ. Either they will be out on the bench already, and then Buffy will go inside, or they'll be inside or, away from the bench where they see TJ sitting, and Buffy will get Cyrus to go talk to TJ. Either way, I'm pretty sure that's what's going to set up this scene, is Buffy and Cyrus talking about Marty/TJ. I feel like that's a pretty safe bet. Another thing is that there's going to be some display of affection, whether it be holding hands, a hug, a kiss on the cheek is a bit stretching, but something big. This scene is going to end on something big, which that is a good segue into unlikely but possible scenarios. A Tyrus kiss. I'm putting this in this category because there are just too many variables to put it in any other category. Because, 1, it's a Disney show, and this is the first, openly gay couple involving a main character that's gonna be on the network. So if we don't get a Tyrus kiss, I will be satisfied. I know for a long time I said I wouldn't be, but I think I've softened my position on that to where, you know, because, yes, most of the straight couples now have had a kiss. Marty and Buffy still haven't, but most of them have. But it was also fairly deep into the relationships for all of them. So it would be slightly different for the two of them to just get together and kiss. It would still be amazing, don't get me wrong. But I think that I would be okay if they didn't. Plus, if they don't get their kiss, it's still opening the door for a different Tyrus and a different Disney show to have their kiss, maybe even before the finale. So I'm not holding my breath on getting a Tyrus kiss. But it is the finale, so they might be good. And they were pretty sure it was going to be the finale. We've all pretty much known since way before it was announced that this was going to be the finale. So they might have gone into this with the whole let's go out with a bang type of thing where we don't care. It's probably going to be over. And then, you know, when they had to do reshoots, you know, they already knew it was going to be canceled. So, yeah, I don't know. Just, there's a possibility we're getting a kiss, but I'm not holding my breath for it. I don't really think it's going to happen. It might. Everything is lining up perfectly for them to get a kiss. I just don't really see it happening, but it might. Basically, that's just what the point boils down to. It might happen, it might not, but I'm, you know, slightly leaning towards no. But I couldn't get myself to put it in complete and utter fantasy either, because there is technically a chance. Another unlikely but possible scenario is that before this scene, maybe, you know, a scene or two before, TJ is going to come out to Kira. Or more specifically, I think Kira's going to get TJ to confess to liking Cyrus. Because Kira is in one scene in this, if Mack met it on Tumblr is to be believed. And, you know, they're in a classroom setting and it's just TJ and Kira. And so I think this would be a good time for Kira to ask him directly about his feelings for Cyrus, and for TJ to finally, in words, admit that he likes Cyrus. And maybe that's what's going to get him to the party initially and get them together. Because I think Kira's finally going to recognize that this is fruitless and that, you know, it's better for TJ to get what he wants to be happy. So we'll see exactly what happens, but yeah, I think that's definitely a possibility. Again, I'm not putting it in safe bet or like stuff I really think is gonna happen, but you know, I could see it. I think it's slightly more possible than the kiss, but less possible than all the stuff I put in theories and predictions. So, moving on from that is complete and utter fantasies, just stuff that I would love to happen, but I'm almost certain is not going to happen. And the first one is actually something I've written about in fanfiction multiple times. If there is a Tyrus kiss, I would love for Cyrus's first words after it happens to be, so that's what it's supposed to feel like. And then TJ would do one of those little kinds of laughs, you know, one of those. Because, like, that would just be so freaking cute, and it would tie everything together really nicely, and it would, you know, kind of be a callback to the Cyrus kiss, and, like, show that, like, you know, because obviously those two didn't feel right, nothing was right about them, and this would be like, oh, this finally feels right. It would be nice, okay? It would be really nice, but I know it's not going to happen. Even if they do kiss, it's definitely not going to go down like that, but boy, howdy would I want it to. Another fantasy is that Andi and or Buffy would be spying on them while this all happened. Because they're all probably going to be doing their own thing. Like, Buffy's going to have Marty. I don't know where Andy's going to be completely honest. Probably with Bex. Maybe Jonah. I'm sorry. I don't want to talk about Jandy right now. I don't think Jandy's going to be endgame. And I'm crossing my fingers that comes true. But point is, they're probably going to be out doing their own thing. But I think it would be really cute if they were actually spying on Cyrus and TJ. And then, you know, they walked in, and then Cyrus had be like, you know, he would like pretend that nothing's going on, and Buffy would be like, sure. But again, that's just a really fanfiction-y thing, and so that's why it makes me happy, but it probably won't happen. The show has had some really fanfiction-y moments, though, but I don't think that one's gonna be it. Another fantasy that I have is that after their encounter, before they go back inside, Cyrus like shifts positions, and so he's lying under TJ's arm like on his chest, and they just like watch the stars, and that's the end of their scene, is them like looking up in the stars, maybe TJ looking down and smiling at Cyrus and kissing his head or something. But like, that would be such a cute ending to their scene. I don't think it's gonna happen. I really, really doubt it, but it would be the cutest thing ever. It would, oh god, these two are the cutest thing ever. They're gonna kill me. Alright, so I think that's all of those that I have to talk about, so let's talk about the "is there anything you want to tell me" line. Which, first of all, the voice is back. That freaking voice that TJ has only ever used around Cyrus, and the last time he used it was the, of course I came, which, oh my, these boys are so oblivious. I cannot believe they don't know that they're in love with each other. Just, anyway. So, yeah, so the thing that everyone's noticed is the way that TJ says it. He's like, "Is there anything you want to tell me?" with an uptick at the end, sort of indicating that he had already said something. Now, I don't think this is going to be his confession and then saying that. I feel like that would be... I don't think TJ really thinks that Cyrus has the same feelings for him, which, if something happened to give him that idea, then maybe I could see him doing this, but I don't feel like that's... I just don't feel like that's the way TJ would ask if Cyrus was being quiet after TJ confessed. I do think that he said something. I just don't think it was that. What did he say? I have no idea. Because my best theory about this is something I wrote a fanfiction about, but it's that my best theory is that Cyrus and Kira had a big confrontation, and something happened, and things were said, and TJ doesn't really know what happened or what caused it, and maybe Cyrus even said something to TJ, and so then TJ confesses everything that happened with him and Kira and sort of why it was happening, and so he's asking, "Is there anything you want to tell me about like what happened with Cyrus and Kira, and maybe what Cyrus meant when he said certain things to TJ?" I don't know. The more I learn about 318, the less I think this is the case, but it might be. I don't know. I feel like something is going to happen that TJ's going to want an explanation for, and that's why he's saying it like that. It might be something completely different. It's just I don't know what else it would be. So that is my running guess, and then if we get more promos and we get some more, context, this will obviously start to change and evolve, and my feelings are going to shift a lot from now to once it airs, and for all I know, literally everything I just said was completely wrong, but I have faith in this scene. I know I probably shouldn't, because the last time I had a lot of faith in something, it was the first TJ look back. Then again, it was still almost pretty obviously Cyrus he was looking back at, and not Buffy. Like, I think we all know this. We all know it. TJ's had another look back since then, and now Cyrus has had a look back. Also, TJ and Buffy have had, 2 scenes in this entire season, and TJ and Cyrus get an entire angsty storyline, so, But, I have my hopes up for this scene, because the way Josh hyped it beforehand, the way the scene is set, the way everything is adding up, and the more angst these two have, the more I'm certain they're gonna have a big thing where they get together, because otherwise the angst would be pointless. And I don't know, just I believe that the scene is gonna be good. I'm excited and I'm ready. So let me know your thoughts on the Tyrus bench scene promo down below. I will probably have at least one more angsty Tyrus edit within the next while. I've been really into making those lately, so I have one in the works, so I'm almost definitely gonna have that one out, but we'll see if I decide to actually post it. Other than that, thanks for watching, and peace out.